me as its only witness, I got a call from the same reporter, Ed White of the AP, and you can see his name attached to many of these articles. And I said, look, Ed, before I talk to you again, I read your article Tuesday. I'm not very happy with it. You left out 2 important details. And I said, I'm only going to agree to talk to you if you put in your article word for word what I say and don't twist it around. Well, this time he put in that I gave him a wild story or something like that, a wild theory on what happened. So based on that, I'm now done with the mainstream media with a couple very small exceptions, one being Fox News and one being another reporter named Vicki Thomas. I'm not sure who she's with, but she's reported fairly on what I've indicated. So that's going to be about it for the mainstream media. For me, I'm finished with them. They have an agenda here, especially with the trial starting and with me testifying on behalf of the defense. I'm sure they'd love to twist my words around to paint me as some lunatic. It's not going to happen. I'm not talking to them anymore. So, but again, 2 things are happening with the media. They're not reporting on this, or they're reporting inaccurately, leaving out things, or twisting things around. You can see a clear agenda here by the media.
Well, that's right. If this was just a lone nut underwear bomber and you were some guy, who had a weird theory, they would be, just moving forward. But the fact that there's this clear agenda and there's so much deception, and you've been proven credible over and over again, while they've been proven uncredible, and that they're engaged in deception. You pointed out today on the radio that the same prosecutor they've got in another terrorism case lost the appeal because they had withheld evidence. You were telling me weeks ago, you were at the early trial, that they'd withheld evidence for 1.5 years, and that now his standby lawyer was saying, where's the evidence? And his standby lawyer said yes when you went to visit with him. To put words in your mouth, you can repeat it. But, I mean, you said on the radio that, or to repeat your words, that you went to the standby lawyer, and you're like, have you heard of me? And he goes, yeah, we're basing our case, on your research, and we think it's a case of entrapment. I mean, this is amazing. And I brought up to you on the radio today, and I want you to speak to this briefly. I said, how do you parallel this with Fast and Furious? And you really zeroed in on the core of it. In both events, Fast and Furious is meant to target our Second Amendment and blame what's happening in Mexico on the Second Amendment. And it's the government shipping guns into Mexico, caught red-handed now, and caught perjuring themselves, same Justice Department. And in the case of the underwear bomber, it's meant to roll out the naked body scanners and the groping and the rest of it. I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, to take away our Fourth Amendment rights to be free of illegal searches and seizures. Yeah, I certainly see a parallel there. Although, again, I don't know that much about the Fast and Furious case, but from what I've seen, that's what I'm taking out of it, that this was some sort of an attempt to restrict our Second Amendment rights. Obviously, this case, the underwear bomber, was definitely an attempt to take away our Fourth Amendment rights, to roll out the naked body scanners. Well, actually, I'm going to touch on that for a second, too. If we go back to December 2009, there were some naked body scanners in the airports, but there were very, very few. And actually, there was already a bill that had passed the House of Representatives, and the bill was to restrict body scanners to only secondary screening in the airports, meaning only if you set off the metal detector first would you have to go through a naked body scanner. It had already passed the House of Representatives. It was waiting to be voted on in the Senate when this event happened on Christmas Day 2009. Despite that fact, in November 2009, a month before the underwear bomber, the TSA ordered 150 new body scanning machines. So I think that's pretty telling. If you go back in history and look at what was going on with these body scanning machines at that time. Obviously, since this attack, well, now they're everywhere, not only in airports, now they're talking about putting them where in buses, trains, probably
shopping malls, and they've announced even the small airports today are going to get hundreds of them. Billions of dollars for these companies that the former head, who was the current head at the time, Mr. Chertoff, consults for and makes millions of dollars from. It's just incredibly obvious that the bill had passed to restrict them and to cut into that business model. It was going into the Senate to be completely passed, had the votes. The thousands of machines are ordered a year before. They're about to roll into the airports in January. You're in December, and magically the underwear bomber's gotten on the plane by the U.S. government. They get him the credentials he needs, get him on board. You come out and tell this wild story that somebody with security credentials got him on. Then later it's confirmed. I want to close with this, and you wouldn't give me your take on it today, and I don't blame you because you don't want them to pigeonhole you. You're just following the facts, like they would say in Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am. But you have now, a year and a half into this, on my show just a few weeks ago, here on the TV show, said clearly this is an inside false flag. The evidence is all there. And they're going to dredge all that up. And they're already doing it. Even when you don't, tell the AP something, they twist it into that when you're stating facts here. And I guess off air I might ask you, but I really do want to know your insider view, surviving the attack, following it for almost 2 years. I want to know the first thing that went through your mind when you found out that the reported underwear bomber was saying that you were going to be his only witness.
What was the first thing that went through my mind?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow, I can't believe it. That was it. It came out of left field because I never, ever thought the underwear bomber himself would call me as a witness. I thought Anthony Chambers would if he got the chance, but again, he doesn't have authority to do that.
So what are the motives? What are the motives? What could be going on? I know it's speculation, but come on.
I don't think I can go there. I don't think I can go. I don't know that I even know the answer, and I don't really want to speculate. Obviously, I've never talked to Umar. I've never met him. I don't know. To give an honest answer, I probably could give you an answer if I talked to Umar for about 2 minutes, but I never have. So I would just be speculating. I have to be careful what I say right now because obviously the prosecution's going to try and paint me as a lunatic.
Hey, why doesn't Umar... if he's already fired his lawyers and standby lawyers, would it be the first time in history that the reported person carrying out the crime could hire one of his victims as his lawyer?
Hire me as his lawyer?
Yeah, he could. He's already talking about you being his only witness, and you're a lawyer there in that area. He could actually have you as his lawyer. Let's put that idea out here. Would you represent the underwear bomber?
Oh, I don't even think I could answer that. I don't think anyone would. Well, a couple things. I don't know that Judge Edmonds would even let me do that. But number two, if you're an attorney, you can't be one of the main witnesses in the case. And obviously, I'm the only witness. So it would be detrimental to Umar's case because I wouldn't be able to be a witness. Sure.
I was just thinking of the bizarreness of this, that he doesn't have a lawyer. But and he's been reportedly saying he did it, but now he's getting angry. Clearly when he heard that Anwar al-Awlaki, the CIA admitted lackey who hangs out and has dinners at the Pentagon, when he heard that he had been killed for the 5th time, by the way, but they never retracted the last 4, that probably freaked him out because that was his supposed handler. And I think that, if you've got to speculate, that's the first point we look at. That he had an outburst on that subject, said he wasn't really dead, and now I think this might have been a shot across their bow, that he's not going to stay on the reservation unless they make some deal with him. I know this, because following past patsies, no matter what deals he thinks he makes with them, he has no hope but coming out like Lee Harvey Oswald and saying, I'm a patsy, I didn't do this, and then staying alive. Lee Harvey Oswald couldn't do that.
I don't really know what Umar's thinking. I couldn't tell you, really. Even these outbursts in court, I don't know what to make out of it. A lot of people are speculating, but I hate to even guess. It just seems so out of character. I hate to say out of character because he did try to blow up a plane, but it seems out of character from every time I've seen him. He just seems real quiet and meek. Maybe.
Yeah, you said, well, the way some have described him was disheveled, drugged, whatever. Going back, though, and I want to give you the final 2 minutes with any other points you want to make, Kurt, and we really appreciate you coming and joining us here. This is just amazing information. And, of course, it's unfiltered here, and everything you say is transmitted out to the people. What do you think the prosecutors are thinking? They're there. They know what you know. They're witnessing all of this. And I asked you last time you were on, have you ever confronted them in the hallway and said, what are you doing? I mean, they've got to know what you know.
Oh, Alex, they know everything. There's no question about it. You know what's kind of strange about this too? Obviously, I've been stating all along that I was a witness to one of the accomplices of the underwear bomber. This man should be one of the most wanted men in the world. They've never tried to have me identify the person. Not only that, the prosecutors have never talked to me ever, not once. Now, don't you think they want me as a witness in their case to prosecute the underwear bomber or help with the accomplice? They've never called me even once. What do I think about what they're thinking about me testifying? I think they're scared out of their minds. I think they're trying to devise a way to deal with me. And they're probably digging into all kinds of background information on me, trying to find something to paint me as a lunatic or a liar, a cheat, something like that. But they're panicking. They thought if Umar was representing himself that I wouldn't be testifying. They would not call me as a witness, and neither would Umar. I think this announcement is causing a lot of problems for them.
Well, they've got a big problem, to put it lightly. The standby lawyers have told you that their case is based on what you saw and that they believe it is entrapment and a setup. Of course it is. Classic Patsy setup, just textbook. You've got now, obviously, Mutalib is watching you on TV, reading about you in his jail cell because he has access to that, and is now beginning to think. And let me tell you, they are panicking, and I'm worried he's going to have a heart attack or die or slip on the soap or whatever or get in prison. I'm worried about you, but we've already talked about that on the radio. Sir, I really look forward to interviewing you a lot more as this unfolds because here at InfoWars and InfoWars Nightly News, you're going to have a place where you're not going to be censored on screen during the interview. We've had your website up, but for the visually impaired, it would probably be good if you told folks verbally your website, and then I want to give you about 2 minutes to make any final comments that you think are important and pertinent.
Sure. HaskellFamily.blogspot.com. For any of you that are interested, if you don't know the full story, go back to Christmas Day 2009 and read forward. You can see all the blog posts I've done about this. I've probably done 30 maybe, or maybe more, I don't know. The trial starts tomorrow. We haven't actually talked about that. The opening argument starts tomorrow at 9. The underwear bomber has said that standby attorney Chambers will be making his opening statement. So I'm actually looking very much forward to it. I'm going to be down there unless they kick me out. Now, I may get kicked out since I'm a potential witness, but Lori and I are both going down there tomorrow. We'll be there all day until court's finished. I can't wait. I expect it to be a media circus, but don't expect to see me making too many statements in the media for the reasons I mentioned earlier. I think they're very much against me, and I think talking to them will just hurt my credibility. So, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot happening from this. The trial is expected to take a month. I'm not expected to be called until the very end, so I probably won't be testifying until maybe the first week of November. And, I'll be glad to come back here and give you updates, Alex, whenever I can. I expect there to be a lot of things going on at the trial and a lot of things I can probably point out, that are happening that aren't true. That's what I would expect, though. I would expect that there would be quite a few anomalies in the prosecution's case.
Incredibly amazing, just off the charts bizarre. And I can't wait to see the truth come out, because already so much of the truth has come out because you were in that airport and saw them get him on the plane. And then it came out that indeed the government was ordered, the State Department by an unnamed agency, to help get him on that plane to try to kill you and your wife and the rest of those passengers. But you survived by the grace of God, and you're here now. And the assailant, the admitted assailant in his own words, for whatever reason, is now calling you. This is the stuff of Hollywood movies and legend, buddy. It's real world. It's not fiction. Kurt Haskell, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks, Alex. Glad to be on anytime.
Thank you, sir. Wow, that's it for this edition of InfoWars Nightly News. It is so important to pray for that guy and to also go to his website, get that information and get it out to everybody you know. Because this is just like Fast and Furious. This is another false flag staged event. I've analyzed it. I've been studying this for 17 years. As you know, this is my specialty. And it has got the fingerprints of a